Look, girl, you looking like the 90s Nia Long. Your mom, the girl in high school that every guy was sleeping on. You design, almond-shaped eyes, all Aaliyah in the but you shot it with the vibe. Girl, you look how Lamborghinis drive. If a woman tried to get with you, I wouldn't be surprised. Not even a little.
All right, class is in session. All right, I hope y'all can see me. All right, so yeah, so big chop is basically if you just want a change instantly. If you do not want to wait for your hair to grow out of its cycle and become, you know, luscious and healthy again, then you get a big chop so that you don't gotta wait. It's just the hair is gone. The dead, unhealthy, damaged hair is gone. All right. But some people want to slowly transition. They don't feel comfortable with having short hair and they just want to keep their length and just have their hair just go through its own natural hair cycle, which all of our hair does do. Some people just don't got time, okay? The number one rule that I will say, oh my gosh, excuse me. The number one rule that I will say in this video is to be patient with your hair. You have to be patient. If you have natural curly hair, you know what I'm talking about. This is not for the weak. This life is not for the weak. It's just not. It's not for the lazy. No matter how many accounts you see on, I'm the lazy natural. Like it's kind of an oxymoron because there's no such thing as a lazy natural haired girl. No matter what, even if you say like you don't have to do much to your hair, you probably have to spend more money on products than someone who has straight hair, naturally straight hair. You most likely have to spend more money on scrunchies, more money on brushes and combs, or more expensive brushes and combs, diffusers, shampoos if you shampoo your hair. If you don't and you use natural products, to like more natural shampoos like apple cider vinegar, or even some people do a pre-poo with oil. Those are expensive. Oils are expensive, okay? At least in New York. So yeah, you say you're lazy natural, but you're still doing more than naturally straight haired girl or the naturally straight haired boy. So I don't know, I'm not buying it. I feel like to have naturally curly hair, you need to be committed. You need to be willing to spend hours doing your hair, fixing it, preparing it for the next day because you care about the health of your hair and you care about the growth of your hair. I've definitely spent hours coming back home from a party late at night and remembering, oh, I need to braid my hair up now. Because if I don't, tomorrow it's not going to look right. Especially transitioning. Like, you have to, when you're transitioning, you're basically training your hair. You're training it to act like how you want it to act. If you're doing braid outs every night or twist outs every single night, or at least every week, you're training your hair. At a point, your hair will begin to do what you want it to do because it's used to you always twisting it up every Saturday or always washing it every Saturday or whatever, you know, your routine is. And that's just that on that. That's why you have to be consistent. You have to be patient. You have to be consistent, okay? And if you have to keep contemplating about getting the big chop, you're watching like a billion videos and following a billion YouTubers who had big chops and, you know, talking about it, reading about it, whatever. Please don't get it. Please, if you have to keep thinking about it, don't get it. When you get a big chop, you need to be completely sure about it. Okay, this part is for the people who are using, you know, the best products, expensive products, really good products for their hair, at least they think, and are not getting any type of results. Like, it's as if they put nothing in their hair. No product is helping. Their hair is not responding to anything. This is for you, so turn up the phone, okay? I have a tip for you. If that sounds like you need to do a few things. First thing, check the ingredients of the product that's not working, or the products that are not working. Do they have a common ingredient? Do they have a few common ingredients? Write them down. You might be allergic to those ingredients. You know, your hair might just not like those ingredients. So test it out. This is the time for experimenting with your hair. You're transitioning. You're trying to change your hair into being healthy. You're trying to train your hair, like I said, into being healthier. So this is the time. Certain ingredients may not work for you. Certain products may just not do it for your hair. Personally, I used to use coconut oil when I was transitioning, and it was fine. But once my hair reached a certain point of health, coconut oil was nothing. It did nothing. And I needed a thicker oil. Now I use grapeseed oil or argan oil or olive oil. But coconut oil, I haven't touched that since 2017, because it doesn't do anything for me. Your hair is changing. You might have loved those products in the beginning. Now it's getting healthier. It's going through these processes. It needs something else. Or maybe it needs more of the that is working, you know? So you just have to test things out. Transitioning time is when you're spending the most money, because you're just buying so many things and trying to find out which one is working for your hair. Because this is most likely new to you, you know? And it's also new for your hair. Also, if you're that same person who you've been trying so many products, you've been spending lots of money on these expensive, amazing, healthy, saying that they're healthy for your hair, but it seems to not be working as you thought it would work. Second thing to do would be to check your own life habits. Are you getting enough sleep? Are you eating enough vegetables and getting enough vitamins out of your diet? Is your life super stressful? That can affect your hair. That can affect your hair growth. That can affect your length retention, and it can affect the health of your hair overall. If you're not getting enough sleep and you're constantly stressed out, you'll even see it in your skin. You'll start to break out more, even if you're using, great products. You have to change how you're maintaining yourself. So make sure you look at that. Third thing to check, let's say certain products are not working, but you do eat healthy, you're exercising, you're eating all the vitamins and fruits and minerals that you need to be eating, getting properly nourished, and sleeping enough, and the ingredients are fine. It could also be that your hair is just dead. Your hair is going to reach a point where it's just not responding. Like if it's that damaged and it's just not responding to anything. My hair reached that point. That's another reason why I decided to cut it off. It was not responding, even to water. It was just not responding. It was limp. It looked like it had no life. It just was just not curly at all. And I knew I don't have straight hair. My hair is just so damaged that it's learned to be straight. If I'm constantly heating it, constantly stretching it out, constantly straightening it with heat, and constantly straightening it with chemicals, there's going to reach a point where it's taught itself to stay straight because it cannot go back anymore. You've damaged it completely. It cannot go back to its natural state, which is curly. If products are not working and it seems like your hair is dead, it most likely is dead. It happens. Your hair can just be gone. Like it's just done. There's nothing more you can do but to cut it. For some people, like one of my friends told me that she had just like deep conditioned her hair, was doing a bunch of deep conditioning treatments every week, and that like helped the life of her hair come back. Maybe that will work too. I only know from what I've been researching and what I've experienced myself. I do recommend deep conditioners, that especially when you're transitioning, that will help build proteins and build strength in your hair, especially if you use a protein rich deep conditioner. But again, don't overdo it. Your hair will become tolerant to the product and then it won't work anymore. You don't want that to happen. Obviously, that's wasting your money. You want to do everything in moderation. If it says to do it once a week, Do it once a week. Don't be using a deep conditioner every time you style. It's just not a good idea, especially because deep conditioners basically making your hair more vulnerable. Whenever your hair feels like super soft, it's healthy, of course, but you have to know and especially if it's out and it feels like that, it's vulnerable to breakage. You know, if you're constantly doing that to your hair, you're constantly making it vulnerable to breakage, and again, more breakage equals less growth. Okay, tip number 3. So we're done with the products information. Don't use too much, don't use too little. Make sure you're using it in moderation. Make sure you're looking at the ingredients. Make sure you're looking at your overall health habits. And then also look at your overall health of your hair itself. Is your hair dead? It might not be responding because it's actually just done for, okay? And if that's the case and you don't feel comfortable with a big chop, I would recommend deep conditioning treatments, any type of hair treatments that you can get your hands on. Again, use them in moderation, and that will help build the strength back of your hair. So again, back to number 3. I'm sorry if it feels like I'm like repeating myself. I'm just trying to make sure that you guys are getting like every single point that you can get. So to number 3, don't over manipulate your hair. You should not be doing a wash and go every single day. You shouldn't. You just shouldn't. Once you do your wash and go in the beginning of the week, you have to maintain the style for the rest of the week without wetting your hair again. You need to be doing buns, you need to be doing poofs, twists. You can do ponytails, you can do box braids, everything else. Just don't constantly drenching your hair with water. Again, when your hair has water in it, it's more vulnerable. That's why you can detangle it when it has water in it. You don't want it to constantly have water. Like, you don't want your hair to constantly be drenched. If you're doing a poof and you need to, put some water on your edges, that's a whole different thing. I'm talking about your whole head is drenched like you just came out the shower, okay? It shouldn't be like that every day. It just shouldn't. It's gonna cause more breakage because your hair is vulnerable and it's easily to be broken. No wash and goes every day. Even wearing your hair down every day isn't the best because it will be constantly rubbing against your shoulder, rubbing against your clothes, rubbing against your coat, rubbing against your scarves. And you don't want that. You want the least amount of manipulation you can get. If you can wear your hair in a poof every single day, do it. Just make sure it's not too tight of a poof because you'll get breakage at your edges and you'll start to lose your edges, of course. Make sure the braids are not too tight, you will lose your edges. Make sure you're not constantly brushing your hair with a hard brush at your edges. Of course, you're going to lose your edges. You need to be gentle, you need to be caring, you need to be thinking about your hair, okay? This is like, your hair is like your baby. Your natural hair is like your baby. You need to be careful with it, especially if you're transitioning. Your hair is super vulnerable because now it's going into this new environment that it's never been in for the most part. It's never been this texture. It's never been this healthy. It's never not being heated every day and fried every day or fried every month or fried every week. It doesn't know how to feel about this. That's why we're training it, okay? You guys have to be patient. You have to be consistent. You have to be ready for this commitment of natural hair, okay? So the least manipulation is the best. Buns, poofs, twists, braids, twist outs, braid outs, everything that means that you don't have to constantly be putting your fingers through your hair, that's what you need. Just to give you an example, I went through a time where my hair, I just felt like it wasn't growing. Like, it was just constantly the same length. It had to be like 2018. Yeah, all of 2018 and into some of 2019. Once I started school, fall of 2019, I barely wore my hair down anymore. Before, I used to always have it down. Then I stopped wearing it down because I was just too busy with school, very stressed out. I didn't even care to do my hair. And if I had to do my hair, it was just to wash it. And once it was washed, it went right back in a bun. When I tell you my hair grew so much from doing that, I'm telling y'all, low manipulation styles is what's going to help you retain length, okay? Your hair might be growing, but it might not be retaining length, which is what I was going through. I thought my hair is just not getting longer. It's staying at the same length. It was because I was constantly having it out. I was constantly touching it. I'm constantly going like this. I'm constantly styling it. You need a style that will stay in your hair for like at least a week. If you can do styles that will stay in your hair for like 2 weeks or until the next wash day, that's bomb. You need to do that, especially if you're having problem with growth. Low manipulation styles is your best friend, I'm telling y'all. Period. And the rice water. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about when I say rice water, please click into my how I grow my hair, my wash and go routine from start to finish. You can leave this video and click to that, because that really, like, that's my set in steel. That is my routine for how I grew my hair. I'm gonna do a length check real quick to show you guys how long my hair has gotten. I can't stand up because my phone is not up there, but like, you see my hair here? This is how long it's gotten, up to here. I'll try to do one behind. Okay, it was not going that long before. It just wasn't. It was basically like stuck to this length for a really long time, and now it's grown twice as much. That's crazy to me, like crazy. And that's really, I feel like that's really from low manipulation and also from the rice water. All right, thank you so much, guys. Be on the lookout for another video this week for a hair tutorial, and thank you. Bye.